Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has made a bold statement with his first foreign trip. Instead of heading to Washington, as tradition dictates, he's heading to Europe, meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer to discuss trade, tariffs, and a united response to Trump's economic policies. With tensions escalating between Canada and the US, Carney's move is a direct signal that Ottawa is looking beyond Washington for its future alliances. And his message is crystal clear: Canada will never be part of the US. So what's behind this geopolitical shift? And is Carney playing with fire by snubbing Trump? Let's break it down. Why is Carney skipping Washington? Traditionally, a newly elected Canadian Prime Minister makes Washington their first stop. The U.S. is Canada's largest trading partner and closest ally. But Carney is breaking with tradition, and here's why. Trump's 25% tariffs on Canadian goods. Trump's latest trade policy has slapped a 25% tariff on key Canadian exports, including steel, aluminum, and lumber. This move has angered Canadian industries and put pressure on Carney to take a stand. Trump's 51st state comments. Trump has repeatedly made comments suggesting Canada only works as part of the U.S. Carney fired back, saying Canada will always remain independent and sovereign. Rebuilding European trade ties. With the U.S. imposing trade restrictions, Carney is pivoting toward Europe to strengthen economic partnerships. He's meeting with Macron and Starmer to discuss alternative trade routes and a coordinated response to Trump's tariffs. Skipping Washington isn't just symbolic, it's a calculated political move. What does this mean for U.S.-Canada relations? Carney's decision to prioritize Europe over Washington marks a serious shift in Canada's foreign policy. But what are the real consequences? A possible trade war? If Canada retaliates with its own tariffs, this could escalate into a full-blown trade war. The U.S. and Canada exchange over $700 billion in goods and services annually. A breakdown in trade would hurt both sides. Military and security cooperation at risks. Canada and the U.S. are deeply integrated through NATO and NORAD. If tensions rise, joint military operations, intelligence sharing, and border security policies could be affected. Political fallout. Carney's move is popular in Canada, where anti-Trump sentiment is strong. But Trump is known to hold grudges. His administration may retaliate in unexpected ways. By skipping Washington, Carney is betting that Canada can stand on its own. But is he overplaying his hand? What are Macron and Starmer offering Canada? Carney's visit to Paris and London isn't just about sending a message, it's about securing Canada's economic future. Here's what's on the table. New trade agreements. Canada is looking to strengthen trade ties with the EU to reduce reliance on the US. Macron and Starmer are open to deals that boost Canadian exports to Europe. A coordinated response to Trump's tariffs. The US hasn't just targeted Canada. Trump's tariffs are affecting European economies too. Carney, Macron, and Starmer are expected to coordinate a counter-strategy, possibly including joint retaliation measures. A post-Brexit trade boost. With the UK still reshaping its post-Brexit economy, Starmer may be open to deeper economic ties with Canada. This could mean easier access for Canadian businesses to the UK market. Carney's gamble is clear. If the US isn't going to play fair, Canada will look elsewhere. How will Trump respond? If there's one thing we know about Trump, he doesn't take snubs lightly. Here's how he might hit back. More tariffs and economic pressure. Trump could increase tariffs on Canadian goods, making it even harder for Canada to export to the US. The US could also block Canadian firms from key American markets. Threats to military agreements. Trump has already criticized NATO spending, and he could use this as leverage to pressure Canada. If tensions escalate, NORAD agreements and intelligence sharing could be reviewed. Political influence in Canada. Trump has support among some Canadian conservatives. If relations deteriorate, expect more political interference and pressure within Canada itself. Skipping Washington may be a short-term win for Carney, but it could have long-term consequences. Final thoughts. A new era for Canada? Carney's move is bold, but is it the right strategy? If he secures strong European trade ties, Canada could reduce its dependence on the U.S. But if Trump retaliates hard, Canada could find itself in a worse economic position. So, what do you think? Is Canada making the right call by pushing back against Trump? Or is Carney risking too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into global politics shaping our world.